seems to me we need to retool our political leadership. Our quality of civic leadership is also in need of addressing. But you see, as I like to say, in Igbo land, in Igbo language, there are two words that are very important. One is Ochichi, governance. The other is Ochichile or Chichiri, darkness. When you don't get Ochichi right, you enter Ochichiri. Okay? Now, and this is really where we are. We failed. The best thing in governance that's happened to the southeast or the eastern region was Michael Okpara. And Michael Okpara left office with the coup of 1966. Since then, we've struggled. Yeah, we've had some Bakwe, Jinwobodo, but governance has been quite poor, broadly speaking. We've got to rediscover governance as a pathway to respectability. And so that's the one thing I think we've got to fix. And it's not just governors, it's also representatives at the national level, Senate, House of Representatives, the quality of, and it used to be that the quality of governance, of quality of representation in our communities was something we took seriously. It's no longer the case. We've got to address that. The second thing in my view is we've got to see development as bigger than our respective states. You know, and that's why I'm not one of those people who goes arguing for new states. I don't think we can take the same strategy to development as some other parts of Nigeria. Say northern Nigeria, for instance. Look, we have 29,500 square kilometers in the southeast. That's all we've got. That is smaller than Kogi State in terms of territory. Now, 29,500 square kilometers, that's 5 states. Niger State, with 23 local government areas, is 76,800 square kilometers. So that's more than 2.5 times the size of all of Southeast. What does that mean? And meanwhile, Niger State has fewer local government areas than Imo State, which has barely 5,000 square kilometers. Now, Imo State at 5,000 square kilometers has exactly the same number of local government areas as Borno State with 71,000 square kilometers. That's 27 local government areas. It tells you something. It's not all about land. But if we have 29,500 square kilometers, you know, that makes us about the size of southern Kaduna. And it makes us just marginally bigger than Oyo State with 28,500 square kilometers. That means we can do something different. We can model a different pathway to development in the southeast. Pave over every blade of grass we want to pave over. Create El Dorado in the southeast. Nigeria will come here and tell you, come and replicate this in the rest of Nigeria. Oleze is an important entity in that. Academics and universities are important in that. Setting a different moral tone, I think, begins to help. And when you begin to set a different tone, people kind of key in. Our people know how to key in very well. It is when you have an all-comers affair that you have a problem. I mean, people now see that government matters. Go to Aba. I don't know when last you went to Aba. Now, Aba had one road, which, you know, it's called different things at different points, from Ezeku Road to Port Harcourt Road to whatever, and then it exits the city. And many people who had property beyond CKC in Aba, going into Port Harcourt Road, Ezeku Road, by the time Ojikalu had finished his term as governor, had no value in the property anymore. People built duplexes and they could not sell them for 10 million naira. 8 million naira. They could not get buyers. The current governor has been in office for barely 2 years. Those same properties that could not go for 8 million naira are now, people are now begging to buy them for 300 million naira. What has happened? Those places that Ojikalu and Ochi and what's his name, the last one, okay, because all I remember is the one that lines up at the back. Ibazo, exactly. Now, those places where they neglected now have roads, drained, have street lights, and people are wondering what exactly happened to us. Governance matters.